Ministry of Health keeping abreast of global reports of avian influenza or bird flu. We'll have details to this story and more in the national report.
Grenada. The time for the national census is here again. Interviewers will be visiting your homes to gather information about you and your family. The data you provide determines budget allocation for health, grant funding for community projects, and government assistance for families and the elderly. The census is required by law, and so is your participation. We assure you that your information will be kept confidential. Do your part. Stand up and be counted, because we all count in this census. For more information about the census and your participation, contact the Grenada Central Statistical Office at 440-1369 or cso@cso.gov.gd.
With the details to the news for Tuesday, February 28, 2023, I am Prisan Mitchell. Grenada's Acting Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sean Charles, says health surveillance officers are keeping abreast with increasing reports of avian influenza or bird flu on the global level. Dr. Charles says the risk to Grenada is considered significantly low since the current global data indicate that the increase in reported cases of avian influenza was mainly in animals. He confirmed that his office has been proactive and has held discussion with the Chief Veterinary Officer in the Ministry of Agriculture regarding the need to increase vigilance following unexplained deaths of wild birds and poultry globally. The CMO indicated that a mechanism for testing at the Caribbean Public Health Agency or the United States-based Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is being explored if there is suspicion of a case. Bird flu or avian flu is an infectious viral disease that spreads mainly among birds. In rare cases, it can affect humans. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs is reassuring the public that given the very low risk posed for avian influenza at this time, there is no need for panic. The Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Forestry and Fisheries is reminding businesses and individuals that they must receive permission before importing live animals as well as meat and other meat products. This also applies to visitors and returning nationals entering the country with meat and meat products. It comes following information from the Veterinary and Livestock Division of the Ministry of Agriculture, which indicates that there is an outbreak of the highly pathogenic avian influenza in South America. Avian influenza is transmitted by wild migratory birds moving from cold climates into warmer regions. Countries currently experiencing and monitoring the outbreak of the influenza include Venezuela, Panama, Colombia, Canada, Mexico, Chile, Honduras, Ecuador, and Peru. Pest Management Officer Thaddeus Peters says all meat and meat products should be declared at Grenada's ports of entry.
With regards to the recent spread of the avian influenza virus in South America, Grenada and the rest of the Caribbean is now on high alert for this disease that can affect animals and poultry and other animals. We have to become more vigilant with regards to the import from those areas, and we are asking on the trading and the general public to refrain from the importation of live birds and other related products from those regions so that we can continue to secure our borders against this deadly virus. So once you have any of those products, you are required to declare it to customs and agriculture officials at your port of entry so that the correct action can be taken.
The ministry reminds the public that failure to comply with importation guidelines can result in a fine of 3,000 EC dollars or 3 months imprisonment under the Animal Disease and Importation Act, Section 4, Subsection 21. It is encouraging the public to remain vigilant by reporting to the Livestock Division any sighting of unusual dead birds or birds falling onto the ground as they migrate. The public is also being urged to report activities which result in meat and meat products entering Grenada illegally. A risk assessment action plan will be discussed among stakeholders, including the Royal Grenada Police Force, the Grenada Bureau of Standards, customs officials at the ports of entry, as well as licensed importers. Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell says embracing digitization in the Caribbean is paramount in achieving goals in business at the government and private levels. Prime Minister Mitchell was the featured speaker for the ICT Business Forum on Tuesday at the Grenada Trade Center. The event is organized by the Caribbean Telecommunication Union and the American Registry for Internet Numbers in collaboration with local and regional entities. Digital transformation has shaped the way people live and the way in which countries develop. However, it is still at an early stage in the Caribbean. In his remarks, the Prime Minister said that the digital transformation can only occur if an all-hands-on-deck approach is taken.
As business owners, entrepreneurs, and leaders, it is imperative that we embrace digitization as a necessary step to transform our business operations and remain competitive. The benefits of digitization for businesses are numerous, given the ability to increase efficiency, productivity, and profitability by streamlining operations, reducing costs, and providing new opportunities for growth and innovation. Digitization also provides an unprecedented opportunity for Caribbean businesses to reach beyond national and regional markets and pivot towards the global economy. The Caribbean region has much to gain from the digital revolution, but it requires businesses and the government to take action and provide the necessary support. It is imperative that we work in tandem to create an enabling environment that will allow businesses to succeed in the digital age.
The onus is on everyone to play their part in digital transformation as countries around the world are moving forward by implementing policies and strategies to pursue their digital transformation agenda. Honorable Deacon Mitchell said both businesses and government must take a proactive stance and create the culture where digitization is included in all aspects of operations, and as such, investment is needed.
We need to invest in technology. First and foremost, businesses must invest in the necessary technologies and infrastructure to meet the expectations of their customers, whether it is investing in e-commerce platforms or digital marketing channels. Businesses must be willing to adapt and invest in the necessary tools to compete in the digital age. And I'm not going to leave out governments. Governments also have a critical role to play in creating an enabling environment for digitization. This includes investing in core infrastructure such as high-speed internet and building the digital skills of the population through education and training programs. As a government, we must also develop policies and legislation that support a digital economy.
ICT Week features a number of events from February 27th to March 3rd, 2023. The theme for ICT Week is Investing in the Digital Future Today. This is the National Report. The news will continue after the break.
Have you noticed an increase or decrease in your electricity bill? You know that changes in the fuel and non-fuel rates affect your bill. You should also be aware that changes in household activities affect your bill. Ask yourself these questions. Have the rates changed? Have there been more people at your home? Have your children been on holiday? Have you used your fan or air conditioning unit more often to beat the heat? Are any of your electrical appliances or equipment faulty? Have you added any new appliances such as transformers, water heaters, or pumps? Make it a habit to understand any changes on your electricity bill. For more factors that affect your bill, visit www.grenlec.com. Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Welcome back. SIAP has opened a rural development sub-office in St. Patrick to provide assistance to farmers and fisher folks in the rural parishes. Climate Smart Agriculture Coordinator Kenley Edwards says the program is geared towards alleviating poverty, reaching the rural poor, and based on this fact, the opening of a sub-office in St. Patrick will augur well in terms of contributing to the reduction of poverty of men and women in the rural communities.
Having the sub-office here will make it much easier to, if I may say, meet the beneficiaries, the persons who the program is targeting. Many a times the farmers will have to come down to St. George's to sign the contracts. What we can do is have it here. They basically get it signed up here. If there are any meetings or any discussions, if there are any challenges that they're facing, they could actually meet here. So having it here will make it much easier for implementation and also to meet the persons who requires the benefits of the program.
Former Prime Minister Tillman Thomas says the idea to return a sub-office in St. Patrick is an excellent move by the administration based on the objective of the program, which is to develop rural parishes.
Initially, the objective was to bring about balance in the development of the country. So I was at a loss when I heard that that office was moved from Sates to St. George's. That was contrary to the objective of, the whole purpose was to bring about balance in the development of the country. And now we see that the people in the rural communities will have access to an office to get information and to get support and assistance to implement whatever projects they want to get involved in. So it is a welcome move, and I really want to commend the two MPs, Mr. Andal and Mr. Cornwall, for that move. It is something that's going to be very beneficial to St. Patrick's and the rural parishes.
Technical Specialist and Chief Fisheries Officer Justin Rennie also spoke highly of the importance of the sub-office. Mr. Rennie says this will enable the program to meet its overall objectives.
I think it is tremendously significant, irrespective of the nomenclature, but in rural St. Patrick's, this move is very much welcome because the fishing in St. Patrick has sort of declined when I knew it over 4 decades ago. And there are several reasons for that, but I think the project returning to St. Patrick, which would also serve St. Mark and parts of St. Andrews, would bring tremendous benefits because the fisher folks would be in direct contact with the office because they need a lot of assistance. They need a lot of financial injection into the fishing activities.
And finally, government continues to pump millions into constructing and developing the road network in Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Engineering assistant in the Public Works Division on the island, Clinton Hamilton, says major projects are on the cards for Hillsborough commencing March 1st. The projects include the widening of roads, corners, and covering of drains, all geared towards easing and maneuvering traffic congestion and providing safer roads for pedestrians. The project will be subcontracted to 4 local contractors: Isaac Stafford, Theophilus Bido, George Roberts, and Shedrack.
We'll be widening the corners, breaking down the bridges, as we'll call them in local terms, and covering of the main drain opposite the gas station for pedestrian traffic. The Brango Bridge that we know of on Patterson Street to get out to 2nd Avenue. 1st Avenue, the corners on 1st Avenue, so that would be by Maxwell, the gas station, Pond Cross, and also the corner by Morris Street, across by the Charles Brothers Workshop.
Some of the areas in Hillsborough that will be immediately affected by the project include Patterson Street, Brango Bridge, and Morris Street. That story brings us to the end of the National Report for Tuesday, February 28, 2023. On behalf of the entire news and production team here at the Government Information Service, I am Kristen Mitchell saying thank you for joining us.